Put the grease on. Brother, it's going to get overturned? Listen, we got to dive into this. I know you guys, first and foremost, I know you guys are like, ShowBizz, where you at, all right? I'm out of town right now. I give you guys the details when I'm able to. But listen, this is important. Breaking news. Lamont Roach puts out this X, and he's saying that it looks like the draw is going to be overturned, and that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to, his draw is going to turn into a loss. All right. Now, we have to dive into all of this because the question is, can it be overturned? How does he know that it's being looked into, and how is he getting that type of feedback? And what do we all know? Well, Mike Coppinger from ESPN, he spoke with the New York State Athletic Commission, or maybe ESPN did, because the New York State Athletic Commission spoke with ESPN, and he's reporting on it. He says on X that right now the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the results of the fight, and it's based on that knockdown, which is extremely important, because if that is ruled a knockdown in round 9, 2 of the 3 judges ruled it in Gervonta's favor. So that's a swing there going into Roach's favor, right? So he ends up winning the round, and with it being a knockdown, that's a point deduction, which would make it a 10-8 round. So that's a lot of points going to Roach's way. Okay, that's a huge swing. Go from a 10-9 Tank to a 10-8 Roach. That would turn the results of the draw into a victory for Roach. And it would be for all 3 judges, all right, if you do the math. So that's very important. Looking at, you don't have to look at anything other than a knockdown. And can they reverse it because of that call not being ruled a knockdown? Well, according to the rules, they can. And here's what the rules say. When adequate technology is available, instant replay may be used to determine the correct outcome of a bout, including but not limited to yada, yada, yada. And they said knockdown, trip, or slip, which what happened here. They also says here, in order to modify the original call, the instant replay official and the in-ring referee must agree that the replay shows clear and conclusive evidence that the in-ring determination was an error. So what happened? Why didn't they use the instant replay then? Because you feel if they used the instant replay, then they would obviously know that Tank took a knee after getting jabbed to the eye. And if any of your body touches the canvas following a landed punch, it's a knockdown. Even if you intentionally make that decision to take a knee yourself, especially Ryan Garcia did it against Tank. I showed you guys Dubois. He did it against Joe Joyce. You get hit with a shot. I think Kell Brook, he also did it against Errol Spence. You get hit with a shot. It happens all the time. And then they take a knee. That's a knockdown. And a lot of times it's smart to do, especially if you get rocked, right? And you don't want to get punched unconscious. You take a knee and take your 8 count.
I didn't want to get caught. While my eyes was burning. And you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than.
But why didn't they look at the instant replay? Well, according to Mike Coppinger, here's what the New York State Athletic Commission said. During the round in question, following the commission's request for the replay video, there was a technical issue preventing the commission from receiving it within the allotted time for review. A commission spokesman stated, therefore, the referee's in-ring decision was relied upon and the fight continued. The commission is dedicated to preserving the integrity of combat sports and is committed to working with all promotions and production teams on behalf of the athletes, officials, and fans to ensure technical issues do not occur in the future that prevent the delivery of ringside instant replay feeds to the commission's officials when needed. So there was a technical issue. I want to call BS on that, but I can only take their word for it. So they had to rely on the referee, who was Steve Willis. If you got to rely on those eyes, bruh, I'm not sure if that's a smart move. No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know why you guys do this on the internet. I didn't do that. Someone put that on the internet. That is just, that is too much. Okay, you guys are going too far, because Steve Willis is a great referee, and I feel so bad because Steve Willis just worked his way up into a major fight, right? And he's back reffing big time fights. You really can't get too much bigger than a Gervonta Tank Davis fight, right? The only thing bigger than that is a Canelo fight, which I think kind of has something to do with his call and saying that it's not a knockdown. It was a lot of pressure, and he couldn't understand why Tank took the knee, but he did, told Roach to go into the neutral corner, and he proceeded to count. But Tank told him that, something was in his eye, and that's why he took the knee, and he understands the rules, right? He's like, okay, you can choose to call a timeout or whatever, or the ref can choose a timeout if there's any kind of equipment issues or anything like that, too much Vaseline on your face and Vaseline gets in your eyes or something like that. You can choose to do that, but not following a punch in a fight, right? And I think the magnitude of the fight just may have gotten too big for Steve Willis at that time, and he ended up being persuaded into saying that's a no knockdown. But there's a lot of you who think it was the correct call. That obviously, if you look at the replay, the braid of Gervonta did hit his eye, okay? I don't know about eye grease and everything, but I know the braid whipped and hit his eye, and I think that can definitely affect your vision. But then he got jabbed. All right, so something got in his eye for sure. The jab didn't force him down, but he did get punched, and following that, he took a knee. So you got to ask yourself, when they do this replay and they look at this replay, are they going to determine that, well, the braid hit his eye, that's why he took the knee? Well, the thing is, it's difficult to say that. Okay, let's say you have a cut on your forehead, and you're bleeding from the cut, and the blood gets in your eye, and you're wiping your eye because of blood, and then you get jabbed, and then you take a knee. That's a knockdown. It's the reason why, a young Muhammad Ali, when he had solution in his eye from the Sonny Liston fight, he held and he stayed on his feet, and he didn't take a knee. Because if he would have gotten punched and then took a knee, that would be a knockdown, even way back then.
Something wrong with Clay Hartley, something wrong with Clay. I see that, Joe. His eyes are bothering him. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know exactly what happened. They're yelling from Cassius Clay's corner. Something got in his right eye.
So it's going to be tough. I'm very curious to see what the New York Athletic State Commission says, because he did take a knee following a punch. If that punch never landed, then that'd be a different thing. But a jab did land, right? Which helped convince Tank to take a knee, because Tank said himself he didn't want to get caught with anything.
I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. You can get knocked out like that, so I'd rather take the knee.
So he gets hit in the eye, his vision is troublesome, and then he gets jabbed. He like, forget that, let me take a knee. That's a knockdown. But either way, it looked like they may have an immediate rematch. Roach and Gervonta Tank Davis goes back and forth on X, and here's what they say. Which is, it seems to me that, okay, if the New York State Athletic Commission overturns the result of the fight, then yeah, it's an immediate rematch anyway. Like Lamont Roach said, he has it in the contract. But if it remains a draw, it looks like Tank's still going to push for the rematch. And I'm hearing that, the fight that they were going to have, which would delay this rematch, was a fight with Pitbull. You could argue that a rematch with Lamont Roach would be far bigger than a rematch with Pitbull. But let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz adult. I'm not sure what you all think in the comments. Let me know. The braid did hit his eye, and it disrupted his vision. But like anything else, like blood that leaks in your eye, or you have a cut over your eyelid or whatever, you get jabbed in the face and then you take a knee following a punch. If any part of your body touches the canvas after a punch, that's a knockdown. I'm out.